What's going on, everybody? So now this is phase two. Phase two is where you build that foundation. Phase one, what phase one was meant to do was eliminate the bloat, the inflammation, and the toxins in your body, reset your metabolism. Now, what we want to do is convert your metabolism from burning glucose and carbs to burning fat. So this is the stage, phase two, where we just build that foundation. Some of the stuff that you're going to need a scale, MyFitnessPal, and then also a weight scale as well, just so you can weigh yourself. And then on MyFitnessPal, you can always just update your current weight so all your calories can adjust. Um, and then the food scale, just so you can kind of weigh your food. Um, you can weigh your food so you can input it, just so you can kind of track your calories as closely as possible. So those are the three things you're going to need. Also, in this phase, we're going to introduce weightlifting. And like I said, you don't necessarily got to do weightlifting. It's whatever workout that you can do, do. But with me, just what works best for me, especially with fat loss, is just weightlifting and resistance training. That's always been my go-to always since high school. It's just that's what works best for me. But you pick whatever workouts work best for you, because the best workout is the one that you will do. Um, so let's get into the supplements. So supplements in this, again, we're going to stick with the multivitamin. Uh, we're going to stick with the multivitamin. You can use the fasting formula, especially because we're still going to be fasting. We're still going to be doing 16-8. So you can still use the fasting formula. Creatine. So creatine is probably the most studied supplement ever. And that's one of the best and one of the staple supplements that I use. So you might want to buy creatine. Doesn't matter what you use. I go and buy just a generic creatine from GNC. So you can go buy that anywhere. That's if you want to take it. It works for men and women. There's a lot of people in fitness that take it, men and women. So that's a good one to take. And then also, if you want extra energy or fat boost, you can get a fat burner. I take Super HD from Cellucor. You can get it at GNC. You can get it at Vitamin Shop, but that's not required. You can choose to take it or not, so it's not required. But that's about it. I don't really take anything else like the BCAAs and all that other stuff. Even though the fasting formula that I take, it does have BCAAs in it, but I don't go all out. I just kind of stick to those basics. The food. So the food that we're gonna have now, um, if you don't know how to set your my fitness pal, just go to my past video. You can see how to set your my fitness pal. But in phase two, what you want to do is you want to make sure that your health or your fats is going to be 50%. So 50% healthy fats, 30% protein, or 1 gram of protein per body pound you want to weigh. So say if you're about 240, 250 right now, and you want to get to like 200 or 225. If you want to get to 225, you want to make sure that you're getting 225 grams of protein. So just adjust that accordingly. And then with carbohydrates, what we want to do is keep carbohydrates below 100 grams per day. I'm not going to tell you which type of carbs you can have. I usually would tell people to stick to sweet potatoes, quinoa, oats, different things like that. But just be strategic with it. Because again, we want to convert your body into burning fat primarily, and that's your primary fuel source as opposed to carbohydrate. So, like I said, with carbs, you just got to be strategic with it. So usually with carbs, you either want to eat the carbs right before a workout or right after a workout, just so your body can absorb it and utilize it correctly. And you're not constantly spiking your insulin levels. And then also want to make sure that we're not snacking throughout the day. Because snacking, it spikes insulin. Anytime your insulin level gets high, your body's going to store fat. Insulin is a storage hormone. So when you're constantly stacking or snacking, say if you eat at 12 and then you're eating at 1, then you're eating at 3, then you're eating at 4, because you're constantly having these little protein bars and different snacks and stuff like that, your insulin level is going to constantly stay high. Part of phase one, the detox, was to stabilize your insulin level. So we want to make sure that we keep it stabilized. And also, if you guys don't know what foods may elevate your insulins higher or lower, whatever, you can just type in a glycemic index in Google, and you can see the glycemic index. You'll see all the foods, and you can see how high it will spike your insulin if you eat that food. So again, with MyFitnessPal, we want to make sure we input all of our numbers in there, because that's what's going to tell us what we're eating for the day. Like there's no, like in my meal guide, it's going to show you like different meal guides and different meals and stuff like that. But MyFitnessPal is going to be key, because like I said, we're building a foundation, and this is something you're going to carry with you after these 8 weeks. So I want you to learn the basics, just like everybody else in the fitness industry. They kind of know the basics in terms of how to get their body right whenever they fall off. So I want you to learn the basics and this construct this meal plan to your needs and what you think you can sustain long term. So we want to make sure now, especially with the intermittent fasting, we're going to make sure we stick it to 16/8. The food choices for protein, it could be lean steak. Like with me, I always choose New York strips. It can be ground beef. It could be fish. It could be eggs, egg whites. Because also with those proteins, you're also going to get the healthy fats too. Like animal source proteins is always good healthy fats. With the fats, you want to stick with avocados, nuts, olive oils, different types of healthy fats. You can always just Google healthy fats, just kind of see which ones are healthy and which ones that you prefer. So we're going to stick with those healthy fats. And then just with carbs, you just want to make sure you keep it under 100 grams. And you'll be surprised how much you can get with 100 grams. So with me, I don't personally intake carbs like that. Like I get all my carbohydrates from the walnuts and macadamia nuts that I get. So I get a lot of my carbs from that. But like I said, you could choose however you want to utilize carbs. I'm not going to be the person to say, hey, go all way no carbs or whatever the case may be. Just try to make sure that you keep it on your 100 grams. So once you get that, you just want to make sure that you pick a time frame where the intermittent fasting works for you. Like I said, it's 16/8, but sometimes it can be from 12 to 8. That's going to be your best window. Some people are morning eaters, and it can be from 6 all the way until 2 or whatever the case may be. You got to figure out your schedule, what works best for your lifestyle, and then just stick to that 16/8 schedule. And if you're a beginner and the detox stage was rough, stick to a 14/10. Either way it goes, you just want to give your body enough time to drop insulin levels. So, like I said, whenever you're eating, just make sure that you're either scanning the barcode or you're just searching in MyFitnessPal, just plug in your numbers, constantly check your macros, and just make sure that that ratio of 50% fat, 30% protein, and 20% carbohydrates always match. And then if you're noticing that you're deficient in one of those areas, just always, you can just go to the fridge, figure out like, hey, if I'm only at 30% healthy fat, let me find some fats that I can intake just to meet my calorie goal for the day. I know it's tedious. I know people don't like counting calories and all that other stuff. But the thing is, if you start off eyeballing it, you don't know if you're overeating, undereating. You don't know what the heck is going on. This isn't long term, but you need to get the basics down in the foundation. So after this 8 weeks, you're already going to know what 8 ounces of chicken looks like, or what 8 ounces of steak looks like, or what 11 ounces of steak looks like. You want to build that muscle memory just so long term you don't have to guess it, like how some people, they still guessing it, and like you don't want to guess anything. And with me, like especially with weight loss, I always have a deadline in terms of where I want to meet my when I want to be what I want to be. So if my deadline is in the summer because I'm on vacation, the best way to get there, the most efficient way, is to make sure that I'm on point with everything. Where there's tracking, my workouts, everything. I want to make sure I have a deadline. If you don't have a deadline, you don't necessarily need to track or anything like that. But with me, it's just more so you don't have to track. All you got to do is just pay attention to those ratios. And making sure that you're just reversing the healthy fats and then the carbohydrates, because a lot of times people have the carbohydrates up and the healthy fats down, and just want to make sure they're course them. But if you have a deadline, you got your kid's birthday or you got a vacation or anything like that, then I highly recommend that you just track everything and you be strict and you take all the data from your body so you can be as efficient as possible. Now let's go into workouts.